Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I'm still just a little bit croaky, but ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to bring you news, and the news is, I was right. Now, to be fair, when I say I was right, Cloud1001, who actually sent me the information, was right. On August the 19th, that is just 3 days shy of a month ago, I brought you a video about a Darkness Prism Star Stadium. And I told you that it had been leaked to me by the lovely Cloud. And I told you that although it was not confirmed, I was fairly sure it was real. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been revealed today at a Pokemon tournament in Tokyo. I believe that's where it's been revealed anyway. It's been translated by the lovely David Hochmann, who is literally hanging out with the lovely Antoine Boulet today. And that makes me so happy. And it is exactly what we thought it would be, which just goes to show that I cannot guarantee that my leaks and my rumours are always going to be true. But I will tell you how true or not I think they are. And if I tell you that I'm fairly sure a leak is true, might be time to start taking it as read. I am delighted. Now, according to David, it is called Black Market, which is such a good name. Now, for younger viewers especially, a black market is generally used to refer to somewhere where you buy stuff that you probably shouldn't be buying, so having it called Black Market absolutely delights me. And it says, if a Darkness Pokemon with a Darkness energy attached gets knocked out, the player who knocked out the Pokemon takes one fewer prize card. And again, it's a Prism Star Stadium, so it can't be affected by items, etc. We'll get to that. Now, to be completely clear, it's not exactly like we thought. Maybe I was being a bit overly enthusiastic, because we didn't know they had to have a Darkness energy attached. But let's be clear. This means that Darkness Pokemon now give up one fewer prize. It is kind of over the top broken. And you are going to have to play either your own stadiums or a way to discard. We saw that in Japan recently, a deck playing White Kyurem took down a Pokemon, and White Kyurem's first attack discards a stadium, and it's a basic Pokemon for a double colorless energy. You can start getting used to seeing more of these and your own stadium. It is more important than ever. Now, to go to that rule we just mentioned, it cannot be affected by items or supporters. Generally speaking, nowadays you want to get rid of a stadium card, you play a Field Blower, and away it goes. But Field Blower doesn't work on these stadiums. Similarly, we looked at Faber the other day. I'll pop a link in the description. And Faber takes either a special energy tool or stadium and puts it into the lost zone, except it won't for these. So if you're not playing your own stadium and you're not playing some attack that can get rid of stadiums, these won't go away. Now, that is hyper important when you're looking at these kind of stadiums, because you see, it's actually getting worse and worse and worse. We looked at something like Thunder Mountain, and Thunder Mountain's coming out in Lost Thunder. It's a stunning card, link in the description, whereby all lightning Pokemon on the field pay one lightning energy less to use their attacks. That is actually a phenomenal card. But all it does is reduce the attack cost. It makes your opponent's deck a little bit faster. It makes your opponent's deck a little bit more consistent. But that's all it really does. If you can't get rid of Black Market Prism Star, you literally can't win the game. So just yesterday I showed you the new Yveltal. And I really like the new Yveltal. The new Yveltal is good for one Darkness energy. You do 30 damage and discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Again, I'll pop a link to that in the description as well. Here's the thing though. Your opponent can just keep putting it out. And if you can't get rid of the stadium, your opponent never gives up a prize. So as long as they can just put it down and attach an energy, they win the game. And there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, that's a lie. You can try and deck them out. But if you cannot get rid of the stadium, there are only two things you can do. Deck them out, or hope that they either stop getting Pokemon or stop getting energy to put on those Pokemon, because if none of that happens, you cannot win the game. But let's stop for a second and have a look at this new requirement. I say new because it wasn't part of the rumour, that you must have a Darkness energy attached in order for this to work. Now, first of all, when we say Darkness energy, It's darkness energy or any energy counting as a darkness. So a stage 2 of a super boost energy. Remember, super boost energy is any energy on a stage 2. It's 4 if there's 2 others, but just on a stage 2, it's any energy. Or a rainbow energy attached to any Pokemon, or a counter energy attached to a non-EX, non-GX when you're behind on prizes, all of which will count. But the other important thing here is that if your opponent plays, say, a crushing hammer, or if it's a special energy you're using an enhanced hammer, then takes a KO, then they will be able to take a prize. Or if we're talking about a GX, 2 prizes. It only works when there's an energy attached, so if you play some kind of energy denial, it will get rid of it. Also, there will just be turns where you don't get an energy on. That's a bit of a problem, because they can just KO it and take the normal number of prizes, and it makes Guzma way more effective, because if it was just Darkness Pokemon give up 1 fewer prize, then that means that your opponent couldn't just Guzma a bench Darkness Pokemon. But now they can. As long as they Guzma a Pokemon that doesn't have a Darkness energy attached, they will be able to take a prize, or if it's a GX, 2 prizes. But here's the thing. They've got to have the Guzma, and they're not always going to have the Guzma. And even if they get the Guzma's their supporter for the turn, so they can't play something like a Cynthia to draw more cards, or an Zoroark to actually heal up their Pokemon. So although they can Guzma around, it's not an ideal scenario. But the biggest effect that this has is Zoroark GX. Zoroark GX looked like it was going to be over the top broken with this stadium when we just thought it was Darkness Pokemon give up 1 fewer prize. As it turns out, you got to have a Darkness energy attached, and as a rule of thumb, the Zoroark decks tend to play double colourless. So what's the effect of this? I showed you a new Zoroark just earlier today, and I suggested that it was good enough that these Darkness decks may well end up playing Zoroark with Darkness energy, and if that's the case, then we're back to, oh my god, this is broken. Because a Zoroark GX that only gives up 1 prize, I mean, look, it's the best Pokemon in the format and has been literally since it came out, giving up 2 prizes. Giving up 1 prize, it's a little bit over the top. And I suggested using Makago in that video, because remember, a lot of Zoroark decks are playing Makago from Celestial Storm. You can put any card on top of your deck, and obviously the trade ability, discard 1 card from your hand, draw 2 cards, makes that crazy good. It means you can search for any card you want. And then Makago GX is coming out soon, which lets you discard the top card of your deck, and if it's a basic energy, you can attach it to one of your Pokemon. So actually now, you can be attaching double colourless as your attachment for the turn, while using Makago GX and Makago, the combination of the two, to attach a Darkness energy to bench Pokemon, or indeed your active if it doesn't have one, to try and protect them. It's not going to be easy, but certainly with stuff like Makago, you are going to be able to protect more and more Pokemon. And then, of course, if you end up in the expanded format and you start playing stuff like Dark Patch, which lets you accelerate a Darkness energy from your discard to one of your bench Darkness Pokemon, it's getting sillier and sillier. Because now you can play this and just pepper Darkness energy on all of your Pokemon, and you're off and rolling. And remember, Zoroark GX actually has a really good GX attack. It just doesn't see play because double colourless energy is so good. It lets you just copy 1 attack from any of your opponent's Pokemon. But if we start making these Zoroark decks play Darkness energy so they can use Black Market Prism Star, then they get their GX attack and they become better and better and better. And yes, this makes Ace Roller a little bit more awkward, because now you Ace Roller to heal, put down Zoroark on top of a Zorua and double colourless, but now you must also have a Darkness energy on the Zorua. And maybe it's expanded and you've used Dark Patch, maybe you've used Makago, but it's not as easy as it once was. And let's face it, this is a Prism Star Stadium, so you can only put 1 copy in your deck, and when it gets discarded it goes straight to the Lost Zone, so you can't reuse it. But let's be super clear, right? Life Dew was a phenomenal once per deck card because it meant you gave up 1 fewer prize card. Okay? That was a great card. And this might be used over and over and over and over again. Now, if you put it into play and your opponent immediately puts down their own stadium, then it's fine, yeah? doesn't really matter. It's essentially done nothing. As a side note, the wording we've got from David at the moment is gets knocked out, not gets knocked out by damage from an attack. So if something like a Shrine of Punishment were to KO a GX here, you would only take one prize. But most of the time, your opponent is going to have an opportunity to get rid of the stadium before attacking, and there'll be games where this does nothing. But there will also be games where your opponent can't get rid of it for 3, 4, 5 turns. And maybe you're using non-GXs and they just can't take a prize. Stopping your opponent taking a single prize can turn a game in your favour, can win you the game. And this is a card that could stop your opponent taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prizes. That is utterly over the top ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, ridiculous. I mean, it's a 5 WOSI card, and there's none of this, ooh, is it a... No. It's an absolute guaranteed, hands down, no question, 5 WOSI card. It's ridiculously good. Yeah, there'll be games it's prized. There'll be games your opponent replaces it. There'll be games it does nothing. This will win you multiple games over the course of a tournament. It makes Darkness decks a bazillion times better. It's phenomenal. And I told you about it 4 weeks ago. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you guys to tell me what you think about this card. So pop it down in the comment section, go nuts, but do please remember the rule. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.